So pleased to be joined by WWE superstar Sonya Deville, who's now WWE superstar Sonya Deville again. First off, welcome. And what's it like to be back in the ring competing again regularly?
Thanks for having me. And I mean, it feels like I'm home. I mean, I embraced my role and I really enjoyed my role as WWE official. I think I'm a natural leader, and I think superstars naturally wanted to kind of follow my guide and be represented by me. But I'm a fighter and I'm a competitor at heart, and I've been since day one, since I entered WWE. So I feel like I'm back home and I'm ready to take over. Like this is my time.
People, when they're pursuing a career in WWE, maybe don't think to themselves, man, I really aspire to be an on screen authority figure. But it was also a pretty unique opportunity for you, especially off of a run where fans and pundits were starting to really recognize your verbal skills as well. What did you learn about yourself as a character during your time as WWE official, Sonya Deville?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like over the last like 2 or 3 years, I've really been able to show myself and the fans that I have so much depth and diversity to my character, right? It's like I came in as the MMA fighter, and I had hard-hitting strikes and I could move, and people kind of respected me for that first a little bit, and then I never really spoke. So it's like they didn't know if I had the chops on the mic. And then I was given that in the storyline with Mandy a few years back, and people were like, oh, she can talk. And I was like, yeah, like, that's actually what I really enjoy doing. And so I was able to kind of show the depth and the craziness with Sonya then. And then with the authority role, I was kind of able to bring it all in and harness it and do a character completely different than crazy Sonya we saw in the Mandy storyline. So I just take a lot of pride in being able to diversify and show people that I'm not just the MMA fighter. I'm not just, representing any one thing. I'm a well-rounded character that can kind of do it all, and I'm growing and trying to get better every single day in every aspect of my career.
Since you were an authority figure on TV, did you have input from anyone else, especially the person who basically made the role famous in Vince McMahon? Was there anybody else that kind of give you any tips about what you were doing when you were going out there?
Um, Really, I was just taking notes from the people that did it best. Stephanie McMahon, Mr. McMahon, of course. I was able to be in a couple backstage segments with him, which was so cool, just like watching and taking it all in. And he's definitely given me some tidbits of advice along the way, which has been super inspiring and super cool. But yeah, just uh, the McMahon family does authority best. So yeah, I've definitely taken notes from them.
So, Pride Month is coming up in June. You're openly gay and in pro wrestling. What does it mean to you to be a positive example to LGBTQ plus fans and wrestlers? And what can the general public and fans do better to be allies and supportive of performers?
Yeah, I mean, I just think back about myself before I was out, and the experience of coming out in front of like kind of the public eye, and I just think of like how nerve wracking it was, and how nervous I was to be criticized or judged, and how far I've come from that mindset. That was like 7 years ago when I came out on Tough Enough. So I just think about younger me and what I would want to hear and what I would want to see. And I think it's just strength and unity and strength and representation. And I think it's just important to see it so that we know it's okay and we know it exists and we know um, that it's possible. Because I think that's what I needed then. So I just take a lot of pride in being the person to hopefully do that and help champion that, and just spread positivity and equality, and having allies that aren't a part of the community are just important as having allies that are part of the community. And I think you're going to see that this year. We did a pride photo shoot that we're about to unleash. And there's a lot of your favorite WWE superstars that are strong allies that are represented in that photo shoot. So it's going to be really cool and really powerful, I think.
Well, congratulations on all you're able to accomplish with that, and being such a good voice for that in the community too, because it's important.
Thank you.
And in doing prep for this, I saw an interview you did with my colleague Alex Beese at the Asbury Park Press in prior to 2019, before the Pride March, and you were on a float, I believe, or some sort of presentation with Pat Patterson at that. How much did you get to interact with him and pick his brain while he was kind of still with us? And then, I think he's a fascinating guy. His book was amazing, and just one of the smartest people in wrestling overall. So, did you have any good positive interactions with him?
Yeah, a lot of singing. Pat loves to sing, so the whole day he was kind of like performing and singing, and we were eating rainbow donuts together and making funny videos. So yeah, it was a really fun day. It was cool.
So now that you are back in the ring, you touched on it a little bit. What are your goals? What does Sonya Deville want to accomplish now that you're performing in the ring again?
I just think it's important to represent who I truly am, to be a powerful, strong woman who doesn't take no for an answer. And I'm climbing my way to the top of the women's division. I'm climbing my way to the top of the company. I've shown that I have what it takes to run this company from a managerial standpoint, and now I'm going to show that I have what it takes to run it in the ring and to have some gold around my waist.
Do you still plan on keeping your suit game on point?
I take a lot of pride in my suit game, and I think it's part of who I am. And as my character develops, maybe the suits will develop a little bit, but yeah, I think they'll stay.
So some of my colleagues in New Jersey were mentioning your past athletically there in field hockey in high school, and then obviously we all know what your MMA background was. I was kind of wondering about that transition to pro wrestling with your athletic background and kind of how what translated to kind of wrestling and where that went for you.
Yeah, I played lacrosse,
Oh,
soccer,
lacrosse, sorry.
yeah, soccer, basketball, track and field, and then of course MMA. So yeah, I firmly believe that coming with any sort of athletic background can definitely give you a leg up, just because you know how to control your body, you know how to move, you know what it means to compete, you know what it means to win, you know what it means to lose. So all of those, the physicality and the emotion from it, I think translates well into WWE. And I think that's why you've seen great crossover from the MMA world, great crossover from football, from baseball, from all kinds of sports, because I think an athlete is an athlete, and all of that can kind of help in what encompasses a WWE superstar, and of course a lot more, making it as unique as it is. But yeah, definitely, I think it's helped.
And then that's kind of the direction that the company is going now with the NIL program too, with some high level athletes and things
Yeah,
like that. And just, I thought it was unique with your story specifically that it was kind of like an acting background and an athletic background, and then kind of marrying them together and
yeah,
just figuring out that, hey, I'm pretty good at this too.
yeah. It's so crazy. It's such a cool thing they're doing with the NIL, because as an athlete, you only kind of had, one choice, and it's to go to the major leagues. And it's like now having WWE as this huge platform that could be another option for you, I think is just giving collegiate athletes and Olympic level athletes like we've seen such an opportunity, to transition from pure athletics to the world of WWE and sports entertainment. And I think, a lot of athletes grow up loving WWE and wrestling. So I think it's like a dream for a lot of them as well. So I think it's such a cool platform. It's such a cool program. I heard about it a few months ago and I was like, wow, this is really smart. This is going to bring some really, really talented people here and give them some really life-changing opportunities, I think.
You were on what right now was the most recent season of Tough Enough, I think in 2015, if I got my years right. What was it like going from that to NXT and breaking into WWE that way? Is there anyone along that path who you'd say was an important mentor or mentors to you along the way? And
Yeah, so many. I didn't know what I was doing when I came in. I came in from the MMA world. I was a fighter. I didn't understand it, and I came in obviously through a reality show, so it was a little bit of a different trajectory and path than a lot of people. But I just honed into my competitive background, and I was like, I'm just gonna train really hard and get as great as I can at this. And then I started to realize that, oh, like I can use my acting and my experience in front of the camera in this world too. And so I started to kind of tap into that, and I had so many influential people around me. I had the honor to train with people like Bailey and Carmella, when I was coming up. Liv Morgan and Mandy are two of my best friends that I got to kind of share the whole journey with, which was really cool. But yeah, Coach Sarah Amato was awesome in my path, and kind of helping me mix and blend the MMA with the pro wrestling style. So yeah, there's been a lot of people that are super instrumental in my journey and are still here. So it's cool.
obviously your trajectory with Mandy Rose goes all the way back to Tough Enough. What are your thoughts on what she's doing now in NXT with Toxic Attraction, and how emotional was that, rivalry, your matches with her and your team, and that kind of how it dissolved?
Yeah, she's absolutely killing it. I love just seeing someone come into their prime and come into their own, and you could just see them getting more and more confident every week. And that's exactly what Mandy's been doing for like the past year. She went down there, she took an opportunity, and made the absolute most out of it. She's a star. She looks like a star. She's getting the reps down there, and she's just killing it. And I think she's kind of a good role model for a lot of the women down there that are newer, showing them, what a superstar can look like, what a women's champion can look like. And we all are so different. We bring such different things to the table. And Mandy's just very, very talented in a lot of ways, and admirable as a person as well. Her work ethic and what she puts into this. So it's super cool to see her kind of flourishing. I forget your original question, but Mandy's killing it.
Just also like the emotions of that rivalry you had with her that led to the loser leaves WWE match at SummerSlam, and that kind of direction was where I was going with that.
That was the craziest time of my career. It was definitely the highlight storyline of my career. It was so real and so personal, and I got to do it with my best friend and my sister, and we were so in it. We were so in it. We were so both heavily involved in the creative of it, and just thriving kind of in the pandemic era when things looked a little different and felt a little different. We kind of just took the ball and ran with it and did what we could with it and made the most out of it. And it was something that was meant to kind of highlight her and Otis, and it turned into something that highlighted her, Otis, me, and Dolph, which I always think is super cool. And yeah, obviously, the feud was very emotional. The loser leaves match was emotional. A lot of stuff went behind that, and to see where we are today is crazy too, to look back at. It's kind of cool just to get to share this kind of experience and journey for 7 years with your best friend is really special.
What kind of connected you guys right off the bat when you guys met?
It was like instantly. I saw her across the room. She was like dressed in like this bubblegum pink outfit, and she just looked like a total diva. And I was like this rough around the edges MMA girl from Jersey. And so I was like looking at her. I was like, who's this chick? And so I went over to her and I was like, hey, what's up? Like, just to kind of like feel her vibe. And she like just checked me. She was like, hey, what's up? Like the same exact way. And I was like, oh, this chick's cool. Like I felt the Northeast vibe immediately, which people think that's funny, but like you really can tell when someone's from the Northeast if you're from the Northeast. So I felt it immediately, and we just hit it off. She's the realest person in the world. Everyone will tell you they judge a book by its cover with Mandy, but when they meet her, she's like the coolest person in the world. So we became best friends. We found out we were both obsessed with food and donuts, and the rest is kind of just history.
Can you tell that I'm from the Northeast?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Totally.
The New York Mets logo on my shirt probably.
The Mets logo. You also mentioned Asbury Park Press and your coworker. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of
actually Long Islander. So yeah.
Oh, Long Island. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So we're going to move to something we call the 3 count now. It's going to be 3 quick questions and your responses.
Love it.
So other than Sonya Deville, who in front of the camera or behind the scenes has the best suit game and why?
Ooh. Miz does a great job. He does a great double Windsor, which is really important to me. And he always has a great shoe to pair, which I think is very important. And his suits are always super fitted. Yeah, Miz definitely is on par with what I like about a suit.
All right, you're ordering a dozen donuts. What do you pick?
2 French coolers, 4 glazed, chocolate frosted, 2 old fashioned. If they have like sugar twists or glazed twists, I don't know what number I'm at, but I'm going to give you like 2 more. Like any kind of like seasonal, like blueberry donut. Like if it's fall or spring, I don't even know what blueberry season is, but anyway, I'll get like whatever their seasonal donut is wherever I'm at the moment. And then an apple cider donut during the fall time north is the greatest thing to ever grace this earth.
I mean, I wasn't counting at all. If the boss lady wants to get on a line, they're probably going to throw you in a couple of extras anyway, even if you went over the 12.
Yeah, and they do, and it's bad because if you give them to me, I'm gonna eat them, and then yeah, it's okay though.
All right, so you're able to place Adam Pearce in any match that you want at any point. Who would it be against and why?
I would love to personally get my hands on him just from all the crap he's put me through the past year and a half, and just firing me out of absolutely nowhere is just so ridiculous. So I'd love to get my hands on him, but I'd also take a lot of joy in feeding him to like a Brock, fully letting Brock get his hands on him and not stopping Brock, because the first go around was kind of funny. So yeah,
An actual match with Adam Pearce against Brock
yeah,
Lesnar.
it'd be great.
Brock would probably enjoy that too, I would think.
Oh, for sure he would. Yeah.
All right. Well, Sonya Deville, thank you so much for joining us today on Under the Ring. I really, really appreciated your time and the conversation today.
Thank you so much, Phil. Talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.